Hello, welcome to Run Testers. My name's Nick. In this video we're going to be comparing the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite and the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite. So the Deviate Nitro Elite and the Fast-R are Puma's top carbon racing shoes in their current lineup. Oh, quick note, we're going to say Puma in this review. If that's annoying, apologies. We say Puma here in the UK. The Deviate Nitro Elite is a much cheaper shoe. It's £170 in the UK or $200, €200, whereas the Fast-R is £220 in the UK or $250 or euros. The Deviate is the lighter shoe. It's 201 grams or 7.1 ounces in my UK size 9, whereas the Fast-R is 238 grams or 8.4 ounces, and they both have an 8mm drop. So the Fast-R is the newer shoe, the very exciting shoe with this decoupled midsole, which is a real standout feature not only within Puma's range but in general across the carbon shoe market. You've got two different kinds of foam used in the shoe. You've got an EVA foam at the heel here, a firmer foam, and then the really soft Nitro Elite Puma foam at the forefoot there. And in the Fast-R it's a castor bean oil based Puma foam, which is very nice. The heel section of the shoe has these grooves in it to try and create parts that move a little bit independently to give a little bit more flexibility to the landing there. And in general, the firmer feel at the back here is designed to create a more stable landing and also a very fast transition onto the softer forefoot foam there. You've got a monomesh upper with a few bits of power tape, which adds a bit of structure and support on the top of the shoe there, and then very minimal kind of tongue and collar to the shoe with this external heel counter that's also a fin, which is very exciting. Obviously, you've got a carbon plate in the shoe. It's the Puma's Power Plate carbon plate. Then you have a Puma Grip LT outsole, which is really great. Very good grippy material, but still very thin and quite lightweight. The Deviate Nitro Elite has a lightweight monomesh upper all the way around. You've got really very little structure at the back of the shoe there. All of the upper really is designed just to keep the weight down. In the midsole, you've got two layers of Puma's Nitro Elite Puma foam. It's not the castor bean oil one in this shoe, but it's still Puma. And they surround their carbon inner plate. And then at the bottom, you've got Puma Grip LT again. And once again, you've got great coverage of what is a very good grippy rubber. Okay, I have Tom with me now, and we're going to talk about the fit of these two shoes. Tom, these shoes, do they fit your feet?
Well, Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite is fine. True to size, no issues at all, very comfortable. The Deviate Nitro Elite, it is quite a small shoe. It takes me a while to get this on sometimes, especially if I'm wearing thicker socks. So I would say true to size, but just keep in mind that if you've got big feet, you might struggle with it.
Yeah, the Nitro Elite has that slightly racier fit, in my opinion, like closer at the toes. And as I'm a small, true to size, it fits me beautifully. I really like the fit of this shoe. Whereas the Fast-R, is still true to size, just a roomier fit, which might tally up with the idea that Puma's pitching this as a long distance race, so maybe you need a slightly wider toe box. But actually, the fit works really well for me both in true to size, and no problems with the heel or anything like that. No problems with the heel on the Deviate Nitro Elite, which is important to say after the slight problems with the original Deviate Nitro. Okay, on to the run test. We've had the Deviate Nitro Elite for a while. Been testing it for over a year now. The Fast-R is the new shoe in Puma's range, really. We're testing this over the last couple of months. Tom, how have you found the two of them?
So, very similar in a lot of ways. They were quite difficult. Based on the look at these two shoes, notice that how clean my Deviate Nitro Elite is. I've not run in this one yet. I've got an older pair, so I have run in the shoe. It's just this is a new one. So looking at the two shoes, they're two very different looking shoes. If you looked at these two shoes in the shop, you'd think that they entirely different purposes. But I think from what I found in the runs that I've done in them, they're actually quite similar. I think they're both fantastic, lightweight, fast shoes. I've enjoyed running in both of them. In fact, I would say that the Deviate Nitro Elite is I've enjoyed running in it more. It just feels a little bit more natural, a little bit more just you can put it on and I'm very comfortable in it from the off. Very efficient, love it. The Fast-R Nitro Elite, I keep having to look at the names of these shoes on here because I keep forgetting the names. Again, I find it great shoe to wear. I really like it for short distance speed sessions, but it does feel a little bit awkward for me just because of some of the design elements in it, like that harder heel. So both fantastic. I've enjoyed running both of them. Both very fast, but I just think the Deviate Nitro Elite is just a little bit more natural and more comfortable.
That's interesting that you think feel similar, because to me they feel remarkably different. I think it's probably because I heel strike, and so I get much more interaction with a big firm heel on the Fast-R, which really thrusts me forward and through my foot strike onto the the big cushy forefoot pad there. So it's a really efficient, fast foot strike for me. It just doesn't feel fantastic, but it is quick. I did the half marathon race in these shoes and felt great purring along, at what was a good pace for me, running a quick half marathon. And it felt like the shoe was really helping me to do that, especially I was tiring. I was just getting tipped forward, similar to like the classic way the Vaporfly just tips you forward when you're tired. But with this, it's, you really know it's tipping you forward because you've got that big firm heel pushing you onto it. Whereas the Nitro Elite does feel very natural and really fast and lightweight on the foot. I think that's the big key to it. I think it's the lightest, essentially, carbon shoe out there these days. Now the Vaporfly is a little bit heavier, and you really do feel that swapping between these two shoes. So down the track today, doing a workout in both of them. And, like I say, you run the reps and the results are the same. They achieve the same goal. They're both very fast shoes, but it was remarkable how different they felt to me on the foot. And the Fast-R's good. I enjoyed running reps in the Fast-R. I enjoyed running that half marathon. I enjoy using it pretty much all the time, except when I'm not running fast. But the Deviate Nitro Elite feels amazing on the foot, and this is a shoe that I loved when we were testing it. So over a 4-day span, initial testing of this, I think I did like a 27k workout, used a different shoe for a Sunday run, raced 5k with like a long warm down, and then did like 10 1k reps the day after. So a lot of fast running, and it was really comfortable and protects the legs and the body really well, despite being relatively low stack. Whereas I don't think I do that in the Fast-R. I wouldn't go and do a lot of training in it. It feels like it's pretty hard and more built for speed. And like when we're doing warm-ups and stuff like that at that half marathon, I felt, ooh, don't want to run slow in this. Like even as someone who heel strikes at all speeds, it just feels weird. Like I don't need that tippy forward feeling and relaxed feels. Whereas this is, like I say, more natural, a bit more of a roll, softer landings, and still just as explosive off the forefoot. So I think that makes it a little bit more versatile, and probably I think my preference if I was racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Well, I was just looking at these two. The forefoot of these, the forefoot of both of these shoes is pretty much identical, and that's what I'm landing on all the time. So yeah, that's probably why I'm not really seeing a massive difference in this. I'm a midfoot striker to forefoot. So, I'd actually probably say for me, I find the Deviate Nitro Elite a little bit more poppy. Just seems to just bounce me forward a little bit more than this shoe does. I don't get any of the sort of stuff you're getting from the Fast-R.
Yeah, Deviate Nitro Elite I think is a really classic shoe within this new mold of super shoes, and it's probably less weird than a lot of the other ones out there as well because it is slightly lower stack. So certainly one that I think a lot of people would enjoy using, whereas this does feel a bit more strange and looks a bit more strange, and it has a weird fin that neither of us really like. But both have got fantastic outsoles. Can agree on that. I think for both shoes, among super shoes, probably isn't a better outsole, I don't think, in terms of grip and the fact it's quite a thick layer of rubber, even though they're both pretty lightweight shoes.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, verdict. Which of these two shoes should you get?
Dead easy. This is largely based on price, because the Fast-R Nitro Elite, I think it's about £220 at the moment. The Deviate Nitro Elite is 170, something like that. But I don't notice a big difference between these two shoes. I actually prefer the Deviate Nitro Elite. I just think it feels more natural. It feels more comfortable for me. The Fast-R Nitro Elite just feels a little bit awkward. So just based on the enjoyment of the shoe and the price, I'd easily go for Deviate Nitro Elite. I think it's just a far nicer shoe and far more accessible for any runner, which I just don't think the Fast-R is.
So yeah, I agree. I think this shoe is lighter, a lot cheaper, just as good, if not better, actually, in the way it feels on the foot. So it is an easy pick out there. And then looking at the market at large, if you put these two shoes in context of all the other stuff out there, I'm not really recommending anyone goes out and buys the Fast-R at its price. It's it is a great shoe, really fast shoe, but for that money, you're getting better shoes. Whereas the Deviate Nitro Elite is a great shoe and a bit of a bargain these days, especially as you can usually snaffle a Puma discount code or something like that on it. So yeah, I think Deviate Nitro Elite is the one I'd go with. It's a good way to experience Puma's foam for the first time, which is a really good foam. It's a slightly more natural feeling shoe. If you're looking at these kind of low stack racers in general, I think this really ticks the bill because it's got that fantastic outsole. So if you're thinking about rounding corners at speed, then yeah, the Deviate Nitro Elite will do that. Whereas this is more of a stretch in terms of the feeling of the shoe. It's a bit different to stuff out there. It does work, I think, very well for heel strikers because of the way it transfers you from that hard heel onto the forefoot. I do enjoy running in it. I run very well in it, but yeah, it's a harder sell and a bit more expensive. So yeah, Nitro Elite for me. I
would also quickly say, we haven't mentioned this in the video, that I think they are both very stable shoes. Which is a nice bonus. But what I have found is that when running in the Deviate Nitro Elite, because it's got a full bottom of a shoe, it's really nice to run on, and when you're running at night and you can't see the little dips and stuff in the road, it's not a problem. But I've been running at night in this shoe recently, and because of this gap, sometimes I'll land on something and it really does cause a problem. It's a little bit, you can't really plan for this massive gap on uneven terrain. So I think they're very stable based on the midsole, but this is a difficult shoe to run in on certain terrains.
Yeah, it can cause some issues that you just don't need in your life, I guess.
Yeah.
That is our comparison of the two carbon shoes in Puma's lineup at the moment. They've got some more exciting things to come next year by the looks of it, but for now, what do you think of these two shoes? Have you been trying either of them? Has Puma won you round in general with their recent with the shoes they've been releasing in recent years? Let us know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.